So, if you're a fan of me, then you know what RoseVerse is. If you're not, let me explain. RoseVerse is a personal Undertale multiverse I came up with after making a bunch of different interpretations of different AUs. I decided to make my own multiverse where it has an overarching plot with the different interpretation AUs in here as well, all operating together into one big massive story. With this creation, though, it also requires new designs so they stand out from other AUs out there and from the canon themselves. A while ago, I did make some canon designs for RoseVerse, but I hate them now, and they're not very unique at all. Like, they look like you would just find them in Underverse. And so, now that a couple months have passed and I've drastically improved my art, I'm going to redesign them here for you all today. Let's get started. Ink was the first one I did, and was the first idea I kind of had where I realized I wanted to branch out from the designs that I kind of put myself into. I actually drew his first design ideas on paper, and I wasn't really liking it, so I wanted to start with him so I could get the scary part out of the way. So the thing with Ink is I wanted to make him different from his canon self, but also make it clear that it was still Ink. I analyzed Canon Ink's design to see what stood out the most about it, and I realized it was definitely the scarf and also the ink splotch. And so I decided to keep the lawn scarf, I just changed the colors a little bit, and the ink splotch because that was important to the RoseVerse ink story anyways, to have that splotch there in the first place. As for the rest of his clothes, I got rid of his lawn pants. It was kind of tragic, I was really debating whether I should do that, and changed up his sleeves a little bit, because in RoseVerse, Ink loses his soul when he's older, so his vessel is very ink kind of like. So any white fabric he would wear is going to be stained with ink and splattered. And yeah, that's Ink. Out of all the designs, Error was definitely the easiest because I already knew the direction I wanted to go with him. I wanted to make sure that he looked ragged, not because he just is a hobo, but because he doesn't really take care of himself after losing ink. So I made sure to keep his old jacket that you can see in his younger form still on him, and it's covered in old ink stains and such. As he grew up, he grew into his scarf as well, so it's positioned differently. Ink's scarf is actually positioned in the exact way that Error used to wear his, and subconsciously Ink does the exact same thing, even if he doesn't remember Error at all. Now, Nightmare was making me want to rip my hair out, mainly because Nightmare has always been a struggle for me to redesign. His canon design is very uncreative, so it makes the fandom make new designs for him anyways. I never know what direction to go with. And so I kind of just spat out a design I didn't really like at all. I didn't like the jacket, it didn't suit RoseVerse Nightmare at all. But I couldn't think of anything until I asked a friend for help and went with a more dark academia kind of vibe for him. And even that had its struggles, because though finding the actual outfit was okay, finding the colors was really difficult. I was stuck between like a dark aesthetic and a more like brown type of autumn aesthetic. And so I went with the autumn because I felt like it was more dad, and it suits RoseVerse Nightmare and him being a father, and so I kept it. Nightmare is a father, guys, so that's Nightmare. Next was Dream, and though she took the least amount of time, she definitely wasn't the easiest. Mainly because I didn't know how much I wanted to change from her original design that I had done. Transfemme Dream was always like with the same exact design for so long. But I kind of wanted to change it up for RoseVerse because the entity in the headcanon itself exists in multiple different multiverses I have. And so RoseVerse Transfemme Dream needed to have a specific one. So I changed like her little crown and also how her top is set up. Rather than it being kind of like that, it's more like a tank top. And I was debating whether changing the skirt color, but I decided not to. I also made her bone colors a little different, and I gave her eyeshadow, because in RoseVerse, female skeletons, or traditionally female-presenting skeletons, will wear eye makeup, and that's how they show their beauty. The more pretty the eye makeup, the more pretty the skeleton, and so that's why she has very detailed eye makeup. She's a very pretty skeleton, guys. And so yeah, that's Dream's design. And yeah, here's the final products. I think they turned out really good. I think my favorite has to be Ink. He looks so mischievous, I love it. and he just looks really earthly toned. I absolutely adore these designs. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, consider subscribing. I plan to post a lot more content about RoseVerse in general, as well as the different characters from my interpretation series, the different Frists mainly, as I like to focus on them and the Karas. So yeah, if you want to see any more designs and redesigns like this, kind of like this video, let me know who you want to see. The next installment will probably be the bad SANSES. If this does really well, I'll post a video about them as well, and their redesign process, because I also want to take a crack at fixing up those designs because they hurt my head. If you want to see any more videos covering RoseVerse and what it is, let me know. The Google Doc currently is under development because RoseVerse just got a massive overhaul of plot points, and with the new redesigns, I kind of need to redo the doc. So if you have any questions in the comments down below, let me know and I'll answer them. And if you want to see any videos expanding on the world building, or who all the characters are that you see on my TikTok or on here, I will gladly do so. I will even have videos possibly deep diving into the relationships of certain characters. So if you want to see that as well, leave a comment down below.